Okay, this is 8-2. This is dividing powers. Dividing powers is kind of similar, but a little bit different than multiplying powers. Again, the key is you got to have the same base. But now you're actually going to subtract the exponents. So here's what I'm showing you. So up here is 4 to the 7th. That's this right here, 4 to the 7th. And down here is 4 to the 2nd. And I know that because there's 7 4s up here and 2 4s down there. Well, remember, if you've got a 4 in the numerator and a 4 in the denominator, and this is a division or multiplication problem, you can cancel those out. Remember, this is like the factorials when we divided those. 4 in the numerator cancels out 4 in the denominator. And look, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4s left. Yay, 5 4s left. Now again, can you look at the exponents and see how they would do that? Has to have the same base, we just subtract the exponents. So here in your examples, you've got 6 to the 12th power divided by 6 to the 5th power. This is literally 12 minus 5. Your answer is 6 to the 7th power. There you go. Now notice letter B, answer circle. Letter B has a negative number in parentheses. The exponent goes to that. So take a look at your answer. Has parentheses. Now, there are 7 negative 2's in the numerator and 4 negative 2's in the denominator. That's going to leave us with a grand total of 3 negative 2's. Negative 2 to the 3rd power. If you've got multiplying and dividing going on, simplify. Simplify the top. So 4 to the 2nd power times 4 to the 8th power actually gives you 4 to the 10th power. Minus that 4 to the 4th power in the denominator, we're going to subtract those exponents. Your answer is 4 to the 6th power. So there were 10 4's in the numerator, and then 4 4's in the denominator, left us with this. Now letter D, you're going to see these problems a lot. They are a lot easier than they look. Look at what happened. I have 1 over y to the 9th power times y to the 12th power, and this is what you got. Y to the 12th power divided by y to the 9th power. Remember, when you multiply fractions, you literally need fractions. So we put y to the 12th power over 1. And then all you do is multiply your numerators. 1 times y to the 12th, y to the 12th. Y to the 9th times 1, y to the 9th. You literally just replace the numerator. Here's the denominator. So my answer, y to the 12th minus 9, that's a horrible 9, pay no attention, that's a really bad 9. Your answer should be y to the 3rd. So you'll see these a lot. They really are this simple. You've got your new numerator, keep your denominator. Now, if you were dividing a problem and taking that to a power, this is still a divided by b to the m power, like 4/7 to the 3rd power literally means 4 divided by 7 times 4 divided by 7 times 4 divided by 7. Or you can consider this the fraction 4/7 times 4/7 times 4/7. Well, remember how we multiply fractions? Let's multiply the numerators. Well, 4 times 4 times 4, 4 to the 3rd. 7 times 7 times 7, 7 to the 3rd. Or you can just consider distributing out your exponent to everything. So let's take a look at these. If you've got r divided by s and all of that to the 5th power, this is literally r to the 5th power over s to the 5th power, and you are done. Be careful if you've got this negative. So negative 4 over w, all of that to the 3rd power. The negative is inside the parentheses, so it stays in there. You can kind of assign it to the number. So negative 4 divided by w, and then that means negative 4 as an expression. So protect it to the 3rd power. Oops, sorry. Over w to the 3rd power. This is a lot harder than it looks. That literally means negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4. Remember, whenever we have numbers around, we're going to solve our numbers and leave our variables with powers. Well, a negative times a negative times a negative is a negative number. You should have known that right off the bat, that a negative with an odd exponent was going to be negative. And this gives you 64, because 4 times 4 is 16. Take that times 4, and you get 64. This would be your final answer. Negative 64 over w to the third power. Here are your checkpoints. Why don't you try to solve them, and then check your answer here in a second. So pause, pause, pause. All right, and we're back. Those should be your answers. Now notice negative 8 is in parentheses because it needs to be protected, so the exponent is forced to share. 3 to the 9th power was in the numerator, divided by 3 to the 3rd. That's where I got 3 to the 6th. Now I've got my negative to an even number exponent. That's why you don't see a negative number here in my answer. It's positive r squared, 3 squared, which is 9. Here, 5 to the 4th is 625, and 2 to the 4th is 2 to the 4th. Now you're going to be doing all of it, and it really doesn't matter how you go about doing this. You can do this a couple different ways. Whatever you feel most comfortable with is the right way to go. If you see this power and you want to distribute it, remember we distribute it to absolutely everything. The 2, the 7, the y to the 7th power, the y to the 5th power. So that makes this 2 to the 3rd. And now if it's y to the 7th power and I'm taking that to the 3rd power, power to a power, multiply over y to the 15th. Well, you've got y's in the numerator and y's in the denominator. You can solve that. 2 to the 3rd power, and if you've got 21 y's in the numerator and 15 y's in the denominator, that leaves you with 6 y's. And since I have a number with a variable, let's solve it. Here is my 8, nice, y to the 6th. That is your final answer. Your number is simplified, and your exponent only has, or your base, only 1 y. You could do it that way. Another way you could do this is simplify inside the parentheses first. You notice that you have 2y to the 7th in the numerator and y to the 5th in the denominator. You could actually simplify that expression before you take it to the 3rd power. That would be 2 y to the 2nd. All of these 2's, and it's so hard to write. And then take that to the 3rd power. You're still going to get 2 to the 3rd power and y to the 6th power. You're going to end up in the same place. Ta-da! Ta-da! All right, here are your checkpoints. Test these out. See if you can get the right answer. So hold on and pause. All right, here are your answers. How'd you do? Notice that everything got the squared, and then I simplified the y's. Here, I kept my 2s to the 4th over t and then distributed out my power. The red line shows that I am multiplying these all together. That means the numerator is now all together and the denominator is now all together. And I simplified that, simplified. Here I simplified first and then distributed. And then on number 8, I again distributed my power, multiplied the numerators and denominators together. That's how 4 times 16 became 64. A times, oh no, a to the 8th, that actually makes a to the 9th, which makes this a to the 5th. I hope you caught that, because there's one a here. Don't forget my one a. B to the 2nd in the denominator, b to the 10th in the numerator. And that is it for 8.2, because you don't need to do that. All right, enjoy!